Hey Matthew, welcome back. We
Yeah.
we're interesting market here. It just keeps going up, up, and up. One sector that I've been looking at for a while. To be honest, I was very early in China, and sometimes it's not a great thing to be so early in a name that eventually goes up. But we were buying some calls and we did some calendar spreads. Some worked, some didn't. So it was like we're just waiting for this sort of pop. We did catch it towards the end here, but didn't follow up. So we got the first big part of the run and then didn't follow up. I was waiting for a pullback that never happened. So instead of chasing, I was looking to have it come in, and I just wanted to kind of get an idea from you on how to set things up for any pullback. We've been seeing call buyers and I'm looking at the KWEB, which is the
Yeah.
internet names, or I'm looking at maybe a basket of all of them. So KWEB, BABA, BIDU, PDD, and JD. So those five is really the ones that I'm kind of concentrating on. And how do I get the stock focus list. I'm going to do that. But what do you think is the best way to play a pullback on any of these things? So we're seeing a little bit of that today, but I think it could pull back, 30% from that move.
Yeah. So I've done some back testing recently on this as well. And it's China's a tough trade, right? Like I mean, let's just be honest. We've all traded before. We've all been chopped up in the name before. I mean, it likes to gap up, gap down, right? It's not easy.
It's forever cheap. It's forever
Yeah,
cheep until the momentum guys want it, and then it goes up 60%, and then it goes back
exactly.
to cheap.
Exactly. So I mean, I've been there with you. I've had some success. I've had huge wins. I've had lots of chop outs or quick losses. So it's I've played the China names before quite a bit, and it's never, like I said, never an easy trade. I don't sleep well usually when I'm in a China trade, but there is ways to play it, and there is a lot of reward at times, right? So we did some back testing, and some things that I found was like we're talking about, like when these Chinese stocks run, they often rhyme, and you kind of see these follow-ups and other names. But we found, like, some pretty decent performance here on just a very simple, different moving average. Right now, we're seeing these big moves, so we want to be able to capture them short term. And this really short term 5 day over the crossover the 13 EMA is working really well for these names. And if we don't have it in an option circle, it might be the 12, but it should be very similar, right? Like, so you can see here, PDD has a pretty good risk reward ratio, 3.25. BABA is there, that's got 2.85. And then we have some others that are a little bit laggards, but you can see here, even like XPV, that's on the that would be the 4 hour. That works pretty well, 2.9 here. So
And what
looking
is
at some
that?
of these names,
2.9? 2.9
risk
reward.
reward to risk ratio, yes.
Okay.
So for basically every dollar that you're risking, you're looking for a return of $3, right? So right here, we're looking at these names, and they're all solid and green too, right? So let's do a basket,
Yeah.
since there is some momentum kind of going in these names. And I might have mentioned earlier, the MACD on XPEV is actually, oddly enough, astounding. So if anybody wanted to go out there and do a MACD one, we did one of those a while ago. You could always copy that. MACD and PDD were very good back test names there on that as well. But let's
Is there any reason why some are better than others with these individual names, or that's what the game is to try to figure out which one's working?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. So there is certain times, like, less traded names tend to do a little bit better with certain indicators for some odd reason or another. I don't really know the explanation behind it, but sometimes they work really well with certain indicators. So I think it's a little bit of both. And then, like, I think more liquid names, that doesn't matter quite as much. That there's definitely not a real rhyme or reason. I think with the more liquid names, a lot of times it's even price levels and things like that work a little bit better. So these will be things that we're going to be adding to Option Circle as well. That's going to be great enhancement where we can do like certain price levels. So I don't think there's a rhyme or reason. I think just certain stocks and in certain ways, people probably, kind of maybe a mass migration of people kind of follow these stocks, and maybe they're looking for certain things. I don't think there's a rhyme or reason, but certain stocks certainly do follow certain indicators that from time to time. And you can see it kind of go in and out too. Like, for a while it might work really well on a certain name and then
All
it might
right.
stop. So
Okay.
um, it's really just a way to kind of find, trends that are trading, right? It's just
Right.
another
Okay.
way to find a trend.
Perfect. Okay.
So, all right, let's go over to the options circle and then we can go create something new here. Could also just pull up an agent. We can copy something we've had, right? I think we've done certain baskets before. Um, so we do have the 713 on here. For some reason that worked really well on that one. Let's just see if we can copy this one quickly. Let's make it a short video.
Right. So you
So,
find one with the 713 and you can just simply copy it, jump in here
yep.
and make adjustments.
And how about this? How about we do something to show everybody something a little bit different? Let's kind of go here and just open up an option circle page. Let's do a focus list just quick, just so we can show everybody how to
Definitely.
import that.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that's a good way, especially since we're going to copy it from another one that we've used. Let's do this. Create a new list. We're going to do custom and we'll just call it China stocks for now. We might give it a
Okay.
fun name later, but let's just go with that. All right. Well, let's add Baba. Is there any names specifically that you're looking for, or just a basket?
Baba, BIDU, PDD,
All right.
um, KWEB. Can we do that? ETF?
Yep. Yeah, we can definitely do
FXI,
ETF. Yeah, we can see that
ASHR, ASHR, ASHR,
yeah, the A shares definitely.
XPEV, right? XPEV.
XPEV, basically the Tesla over there,
Yeah, exactly.
or at least the one that we can trade. Maybe not call it a Tesla, but
What about even Neo? Neo's like a baby one, but
yeah, Neo. Haven't traded that in a while.
I know.
Did some credit spreads on that. It was a couple years back, but I don't I don't often trade that thing. But yeah, I mean, why not? Throw a basket out there, have a
Okay,
custom
so all
watch
right,
list,
so we got some ETFs, some stocks, and okay, so we save it.
save it. Now we have this sitting in the focus list, China stocks,
Gotcha.
basket of
Okay,
China stocks.
perfect.
We got 9 of them, right? So
Gotcha.
uh,
And we can put, I see the 120. So we could put 100, 200 names in a basket.
yeah, I mean, so far, I mean, the limit, I don't know what the limit is. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be 150 to 200 or something like that. We can
Okay.
definitely go over 100. So,
All right. So every stock I'm watching, I got my focus list. I can dump my focus list in one of these, and then whenever I want to see some signals, I can actually. You're gonna show me how to do that right now?
yep. So what we can do is we can just come over here. So we copied it very easy. As again, we were trying to show people how to do this quickly from anything from a public, trade out there feature. You can always go into and alter too, like right, like so you just because you have this crossover here, you can come in here quickly, alter it. So like this, we were using the EMAs,
Yeah.
right? So we wanted to kind of switch that up. You can come in. Okay, so we don't have the 5. It looks like loaded yet. We'll get that there. The 7 won't be too far off. So hey, pretty decent data. Let's just use the 7.
Okay.
Crosses above another EMA. So we're going to want to use that instead of the simple. There is slight differences. The simple lags a little bit more. The EMA is a little bit quicker. And we'll just use that. So current period. See, and
Okay.
you've simply switched this out, and now you just want to kind of come over here, update it so the title's a little bit different.
Gotcha.
Now you got the EMA bullish. And in here, right now we have this symbol list, but we don't need that. We can just go to the focus list
Okay.
and go to custom watch list.
Ah,
And
okay. Perfect.
now you've imported it. Now,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, for me, import, let's at least know what it
China
is. Yeah.
basket. Yeah.
Yeah, China basket. There we
Nice.
go. Great name. Now we know what it is. And it came
Okay.
right in from your focus list. Now you will want to make sure that you update the other area because you have the bearish exit down here as well. And
Okay.
then we'll want to update the calls if we want to do that as well. So let's just get this so that the bearish signal is set in stone, so we don't have something out there with
Oh,
two
right.
different moving averages. We want what we tested, so exponential is as quick as that. So that's
Nice.
updated.
EMA. Okay.
All right. Now, I think the last time we did this, we were looking at 30 days, 35 delta. Is that something you want to stick with, or do you maybe want to do something a little bit different here with
Why don't we
China
try? I mean,
stocks?
yeah, because they tend to go a little bit like once they move, they tend to actually just keep on moving. So,
Okay.
maybe can we go a little bit longer than 1 month?
Yeah, definitely. So what are you thinking? 45 days, 60
Yeah,
days?
60 days. Let's try 2 months,
Okay.
60 days.
And buying a little bit of time like that isn't bad in a name like, in Chinese stocks that can have big gap moves overnight,
Yeah,
right? Like just because they're a little bit more choppy, on like the gap pricing, like you don't get that smooth line all the time. You get these big gaps up and you kind of get gaps down. And this might save you, from early stop out as well, buying a little time in
gotcha.
China
And let me ask you a
stocks.
question. Is there, should I, when looking at these strategies, should I be trying to match the option expiration with the type of signal that I'm calling? Like 713 seems kind of quick. And so am I doing it right by matching it with 60 days, or should it be more like a weekly or a monthly? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably go a little bit shorter term, but
Okay.
once it gets going like that, we could actually do something a little bit different here too, just so that we have that crossover, we get the exposure. Maybe let's try something different. Do we want to stick with the 35 delta first to begin with?
That's fine. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
okay with that.
Okay. So we'll keep this as is. It'll give you up to five trade counts here.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
just trying to think. I don't know if my question is an
yeah,
idiotic question
no.
or not. It's like, am I supposed to match sort of a quick signal with like a quick option?
Yeah, what we could do, since these things tend to trend, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
and we're kind of doing this now off the cuff now with the back test, but that's fine. I don't see any reason not to. I'm going to guess a test pretty decent. Um, what we can do is let's extend this out. Like, let's take a look here, and we can go to uh, a closing price, on the daily. And, so we're trying to catch this trend. And this is something that I've noticed in momentum stocks, shorter term, like on the hourly a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You get this 513 or, whatever, 713 kind of shorter term crossover, but then use like the 20-day as like your stop out. That gives you that little bit of cushion. Um,
Okay.
so let's do that. Crosses below. And let's just use the 20 EMA. It's tested really well. Like we are talking about BE before, and how these
Yeah.
data centers and these energy
Mm-hmm.
plays in the AI space are working. You know, really kind of wanted to look back, and I look back at momentum plays, and these work really well. If you kind of get this shorter term
Right.
kind
You
of
get the signal short term,
entry.
and then the longer term is a little bit lagging, but it keeps you in the trade. Is
Yep,
that how it
keeps you in
works?
the exactly keeps you in the trade. So let's do this, right? So then now you won't get out unless you cross below that 20-day. Gives you a little bit more cushion. We do know that there can be some choppiness, definitely with like
Mm-hmm.
a shorter term moving averages. So this will give you a little bit of more, I guess, time to see the trade play out. And that works well with the 60 DTE. So, and then let's just update it so that we know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I just like to do shorthand, cross below 20 EMA. So,
Gotcha.
so we update that. Now we got that all set. So now, um, you can always go back in here and look, but this is kind of already set for your signal on your technical parameters here to close immediately, which is something that we like to do. And this is the one closes the other. The one thing, you did say that these typically really like to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when we do get this move, do you think a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio is good, or do you think like, hey, maybe let's push it a little bit more here since we do
Yeah,
have a lot
probably
of
a little bit
momentum
more
going?
because it's when these get going, they kind of tend to move for a few days
Yeah,
sharply.
and we do have some things that are favorable, right? Like the Fed is cutting rates. That's typically very bullish for Chinese stocks. I mean, when you look back in times, rate cutting cycles for our Fed has led to usually pretty good rallies within the Chinese markets. And then, I mean, if we continue to see a weaker dollar and weaker rates, that's also, like I said, that together leads to a little bit more of a proactive rally that's in the Chinese sector. And they're really coming out of a deep dive recently, right? Like
Yeah.
they've been in this long, kind of drawn out bear market. So you could get some really outstanding moves going forward. So are you thinking 200, maybe 250
Yeah,
even?
let's say 250.
Okay. And then we'll just keep that as a 50%. We're
Yep.
only playing the 35 delta. So your bets aren't too big. And then do you want to keep 1 week before maybe expiration, or do you want to do something different with that?
What are the options?
We could do
Sounds pretty
anything from,
good. Sounds.
yeah.
I don't want to be too close to the
Yeah.
expiration. One week before is fine.
All right. Just so traders know that we can do anything minutes before the close. We can do
Hours
hours
before.
before
Yeah.
the close. So if you're trading like zero DTEs, and you're like, well, I just don't want to mess around with that final 15 minutes because you get a lot of whipsaw. You can close it
Yeah.
15 minutes before. But yeah, I do like that on a swing trade, weeks before that 1 week. A lot of times I'd rather roll something out. So that's a
Okay.
good solid.
Perfect. I
All
like that. I'm gonna watch that.
right.
All right.
Wonderful,
Thank you.
Felix.
Thanks, Matthew. Be good.
Bye.